UFC Vegas 108, Tatsuda Taira taking on Hong Song Park. This is the weigh-in recap. I'm going to take a look at these fighters doing the face-offs one by one, break down the matches, go over the parlays, and wrap the video up. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and let's get it started. First fighter tonight, we got Taira Rodriguez taking on Ketlen Souza. I'm still rocking with Ketlen Souza. I think she has the power to minimize whatever Pierre is going to be throwing back at her. I think she can deal with the wrestling from Pierre. She's not that great of a wrestler. I like Ketlen Souza's ability to finish fights. I'm not sure if she's going to finish Pierre in this one. I think it will be a tough 3-round fight. I could definitely see it being a split decision, but I do think Ketlen Souza does have enough to get the job done. I do see it being a close fight, but I am going with Ketlen Souza. You can see there in the face-off, both ladies made weight, no issues, 116. The height difference doesn't really look that significant, so I'm still rocking with Ketlen. I think she can, close the distance, land a shot, possibly score, very well on the judges' scorecards, and ultimately win the fight. So let's go with Ketlen Souza. Next up, we got Rafael Estevam taking on Felipe Bunez. Now, Rafael Estevam actually missed weight bad. I think he came in at 130 pounds. He looked pretty bad walking up to the scales, looked bad on the scale. So with that being said, in combination with his bad gas tank in the 3rd round and his fight style, which is a heavy grappling output, I'm going to pick flip here and I'm going to take Felipe Bunez. I think he can knock him out. Coming off this bad weight cut, and with the style that he has, I could definitely see Estevam gassing out like he normally does in the 3rd round. Maybe it happens even earlier with this bad of a weight cut. I definitely think Felipe Bunez's hands is pretty difficult, not difficult, dangerous. And I do think he can, maybe get a freakish knockout on Rafael Estevam. So I am going to be pick flipping. You can see them here at the face-offs. Estevam really looked, drawn out of it, like he did not want to be there. So I definitely think that weight cut got to him. And with that being said, I am going to switch to Felipe Bunez. So official pick flip. We're going with Felipe Bunez. Next up, this fight was actually added to the card. Austin Bashi taking on John Yanis. I didn't break it down, in the full card predictions because I believe the fight came through later in the week. But I am going to be picking Austin Bashi. I do think he will be able to get the wrestling going. There isn't much out there on John Yanis. I know he's pretty aggressive. He likes to walk forward, likes to strike. But I do think Bashi's wrestling will, get him the win in this fight. Maybe he gets a late submission. Maybe it's a 1st round submission, something of that order. But I do see Bashi's grappling giving John Yanis a lot of troubles. If Bashi gets stuck on the feet, he could be in a little bit of trouble. But I don't see that coming through. Yanis doesn't look like he put in some really hard training camp. I know it's short notice, so Bashi looks to be in one of the best shapes that he's been in his fighting career so far. So I am going to take Bashi. I do think the wrestling is going to be too much for John Yanis, so give me Austin Bashi. The picks are a little out of order. We're going in the order of the picks, I guess. But we got Nick Klein taking on Andre Puyaev, half of the lock. You can see here in the face-off, Puyaev, much taller. Like I said, the range is going to give Nick Klein a lot of issues. He doesn't really move his head well, doesn't really move his feet well. He's definitely going to be there for Puyaev to, for him to piece up. I do see a finish coming for Andre Puyaev, and that is the pick. Half of the lock, coming through for us in this matchup. Next up, we also had another weight miss. Tresean Gore came in 3.5 pounds overweight, but I'm not deterred by that. He was a lot more energetic. He actually apologized to everyone for missing weight. Not saying that I'm picking him because he apologized, but he just had a lot more energy about him than Rafael Estevam. So I'm still picking Tresean Gore. I do think he can. I think he can give Rodolfo Vieira a lot of trouble if he can defend the takedowns. I think his striking is definitely going to be an issue. Vieira isn't the best wrestler. He's a really good grappler, but his ability to get fighters down isn't the best. I think Tresean, he's a pretty good athlete. I do think he can, drop down, shoot some underhooks, and defend the takedowns pretty well. And if he's able to do that throughout the 1st round, I do think he's live to get a knockout. I know Rodolfo Vieira has never been knocked out, but he's also a little older And Trayshawn Gore definitely has some sting in his shot. So give me Trayshawn Gore. I'm still rocking with him, even with the with the weight miss. I do think he has the power enough to possibly put Vieira down. So give me Trayshawn Gore. Next up in the featured prelim, we got Rinya Nakamura taking on Nathan Fletcher. The pick is still going to be Rinya. Do think his wrestling is a lot better. I have seen Nathan Fletcher getting overpowered, getting reversed in bad positions. He likes to pick submission over position, and I don't think he will be able to do that with Rinya Nakamura. I think Nakamura is going to be able to control him and ultimately secure a unanimous decision. So give me Rinya Nakamura. Next up, we got the main card opener. If you haven't already, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. We got Danny Silva taking on Kevin Vallejos. I believe that's how you say it. I do believe Kevin Vallejos can get a knockout here. I'm just not dying on that hill. So he is part of the lock of the week, as you guys know. Kevin Vallejos and Andre Puyaev parlay plus 101 lock of the week to get August rolling on a good foot. But yeah, we do have him in another parlay, maybe with the round 3 stoppage or a decision, which is what we ended up going with, but we'll get into the parlays later. But yeah, Danny Silva, he's pretty good, man. It's a really good prospect versus prospect battle. Kevin is only 23, Danny Silva's 28, so these guys have a promising future. But I do believe Kevin's striking is going to be a little too much for Danny Silva. He does have the power, the speed is there, and I feel as though he's more complete of a fighter. So give me Kevin here. Lock of the week parlay to get it done. Next up, we got Neil Magny versus Elizeo Zaleski dos Santos. I'm still going with dos Santos. I feel as though this is the Unk battle, whatever you guys want to call it. I do feel as though both of these guys are on the opposite end, or not opposite end. They're on the later end of their careers. And I feel as though both of them are going to be very hesitant in the striking, probably slow the pace down. It will be a 3-round fight. And I just see Zaleski outworking Neil Magny. Neil Magny doesn't really use his range well, which he does have a big advantage in this fight. But I have never seen Neil Magny, working a solid jab or staying long. He likes to tie up in the clinch, and I don't think he's going to be able to do that with Dos Santos. So give me Dos Santos to win by decision. Next up, we got Carol Rosa taking on Nora Cornoli. I'm going with Rosa. I feel as though she'll be able to flatten the tires of Cornol, who likes to, close the distance, get dirty with it, but I'm not sure if she'll be able to outdog a Rosa. I know Rosa does like to turn some of her fights into sparring matches, but I feel as though she still has enough pop on her shots to keep Cornoli at bay, especially the leg kicks. If she's able to do that early or get on the leg kicks early, it's going to be a long night for Cornoli. So give me Carol Rosa. Next up in the featured fight of the night, we got Elvis Brenner taking on Esteban Ribovics. Going with Esteban Ribovics. I do think he finds the chin of Elvis Brenner. I do think he gets it done within 2 rounds. So give me Esteban Ribovics to get a knockout victory in this one. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets a club and sub either, but I do feel as though Esteban Ribovics is going to get a finish in this fight. Co-main event of the evening, we got Mateusz Rebecki taking on Chris Duncan. A little bit of a grudge, not really a grudge match, but these guys were training together. They are training partners over at American Top Team. Chris Duncan did say he didn't really like how, this fight was booked, but it is what it is. They're fighting, and here we are. I am going with Mateusz Rebecki. I do feel as though he's better overall. He's more better overall. I feel as though the striking is definitely going to be a problem for Chris Duncan, who his striking is okay, but I feel as though it's just easy to counter him. You know what I'm saying? Rebecki, he's going to close the distance, get in tight, and if he lands one of those powerful hooks on him, I feel as though Chris Duncan can be hurt. We have seen him hurt. Again, Guram Kutateladze, or not Guram. Slavaklaus finished him on Contender Series, and Charlie Campbell actually dropped him as well. I believe that was in his second Contender Series fight where he came back and won. But Rebecki, man, he's a dog. And if he clips you with one of those shots, I don't see Chris Duncan being able to get back to his feet. So give me Rebecki to win by knockout. I do feel as though that's coming. Main event of the evening, Hyun Sung Park taking on Tatsuda Taira. We can see both of these gentlemen on the scales here. Both made weight, 126, no issues. And I got to say, Park was a little thinner than I thought he was. He looked he looked more bulky against Carlos Hernandez, but both of these guys came in, like I said, no issues, made weight. But I am going with Taira Taira. I feel as though, the short notice, it is short notice, but it isn't at the same time. Park was scheduled to fight next week against Steve Erceg. It's just a different matchup. He was preparing for a striker, Taira Taira. Yes, he can strike, but his number one game plan is the grappling. And I feel as though he will be able to put Park in some compromised positions. I just don't know if he finishes them for sure. So I do think Taira Taira wins this fight by decision. I do feel as though there will be moments for Park, especially with the boxing early. First 2 rounds will be dangerous for Taira Taira, but he's going to have to work, the straight shots, the long shots, keep him at bay, and then shoot the takedowns. You know what I'm saying? Keep him occupied, keep him guessing. But I do feel as though Taira Taira will be the victor and, be the Japanese prospect that the UFC is hoping for out of him. So that is the weigh-in recap. Let's move on to my favorite section, your favorite section, the parlays. As you guys can see, we got Mateusz Rebecki, money line over 1.5, Silva versus Vallejos, and under 2.5, and Gore versus Rodolfo Vieira plus 234. Really like that play there. Caro Rosa over 2.5, Magny versus Dos Santos. Like I said, I see that fight going to decision. And then we got Ketlin Souza money line plus 507. Andre Puyaev TKO and Taira Taira by decision. Speaks for itself. I really like both of those plays right there, plus 849. And then Kevin Vallejos round 3 or decision. Taira Taira by sub. Esteban Ribovics and the under 2.5 in the Rebecki versus Duncan fight, plus 1171. Really good money right there. That is what I got for Makai's money making plays. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you for the full card recap. I really like this card. Let me know what you rated out of 10, 1 through 10. I know a lot of people were saying that they're not tuning in for this one, but I really like this card, man. It's a pretty good bouts on early. The prelims and the main card is pretty solid. I think, of course, it's not a pay-per-view or anything like that, but it is a pretty solid fight night. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let me know who you guys, if you agree with the pick flip or not. I'm interested to see what you guys are saying. So I'll catch you guys for the full card recap. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.